All right, soccer fans, ready for another deep dive. This time, we're tackling the Big South Conference women's soccer scene.
And let me tell you, this isn't just your average run-of-the-mill standings check-in. No way.
We're talking about digging deep, unearthing those narratives.
Yeah,
The ones that make this season so captivating.
exactly. We're talking about those unexpected powerhouse teams, the standout players that are making a real splash, and that heart-stopping race to the championship. And trust me, things are heating up.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with the Big South Championship tournament right around the corner, November 2nd, 7th, and 10th, to be exact, every single match now has these incredibly high stakes.
You're right, the pressure is definitely on, especially for a team like Radford. I mean, we're talking about a potential three-peat here. That's huge.
They were picked to win it all again this year, right? So are they living up to that hype?
That's a great question, and honestly, it's a bit of a mixed bag. But before we get into Radford, can we talk about Charleston Southern for a second? That 4-1 win against Winthrop. Now that was a statement.
Whoa, 4 goals. That's impressive.
Yep.
They haven't scored that many in a conference game since, what, 2019?
2019, you're absolutely right. But it wasn't just the number of goals, right? It was how they completely, for lack of a better word, dismantled Winthrop's defense. I mean, they were just so sharp, so clinical, exploiting those gaps on the wings, and their ball movement was just, well, it was like poetry in motion.
And with that win, they skyrocketed, right,
Yeah.
to the top of the Big South standings. I don't think anyone could have predicted that.
Yeah, at the start of the season, nobody had Charleston Southern anywhere near their championship contenders list. I mean, let's be real. But now, they're the team to beat.
It's remarkable, isn't it, to see a team come together like that? And you have to give credit to some of those standout players. Aylin Person, their senior midfielder,
Yeah.
she is having a season for the books. I mean, that Winthrop game, a goal and an assist, talk about showing up.
She's playing with so much confidence and leadership. You can just tell she's got her eyes on that championship prize. It's no wonder she was named Offensive Player of the Week.
Well-deserved for sure.
Absolutely. And speaking of rising stars, we can't forget about freshman Danica Birch. Can you believe that game winner? And then just a few moments later, bam, an assist. Clutch doesn't even begin to cover it.
39 seconds later. Talk about making an impact.
Right. Talk about a dynamic duo, Birch and Purcell. Birch is already proving to be such a force on the field. And freshman of the week, well, she's earned it.
Couldn't agree more. But they're not the only team exceeding expectations this season, right? High Point, another one that's really turning heads.
Definitely not. I mean, they were projected to finish, what, third in that preseason poll? And look at them now, right up there, tied with Charleston Southern for first place.
They did have that little hiccup, that tie against Gardner-Webb on October 2nd.
Yeah.
But even that couldn't slow them down for too long.
You know, honestly, a draw against a team like Gardner-Webb, not the end of the world. And besides, you can't underestimate High Point's not-so-secret weapon, Aubrey McKessie, their goalkeeper. Talk about a
The
wall.
5 shutouts in 8 games. I mean, come on. That's incredible. No wonder she snagged that Defensive Player of the Week award.
Absolutely deserve. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? Is a powerhouse defense the real key to winning it all this year? Something to ponder, for sure. But you know what's really got me hooked this season? It's how close those standings are.
No kidding. It's like everyone's bunched up fighting for every inch.
Exactly. And it's not just at the top either. I mean, you've
Right.
got Gardner-Webb, Radford, Presbyterian, USC Upstate, Winthrop, you name it, all tangled up, all vying for those playoff spots.
A total log jam. I love it. It makes every match so unpredictable.
Right. You just never know who's going to come out on top. And that just adds this whole other level of excitement, you know?
Absolutely. And speaking of excitement, let's talk about those individual players who are really lighting up the field. I mean, it's not just about those teams, right? It's about the talent, the individual brilliance.
Oh, absolutely. The Big South is overflowing with it this year. I mean, even teams like Radford, who, let's face it, haven't been quite as dominant as we've seen them in the past, they've still got some serious firepower on their roster. Lily Short, for example.
Oh, talk about a goal-scoring machine. 7 goals in 10 games. That's impressive by any standard.
She just knows how to find the back of the net, you know? And then you've got Paige Olson racking up those assists, 7 already. She's a playmaker, plain and simple.
Setting her teammates up for success, that's what it's all about. You know who else I'm really impressed with? Lena Marie Mueller from Presbyterian.
Oh, yeah, she's been fantastic. A constant threat. 4 goals and 3 assists in 9 games. That's what you call a complete player.
Exactly. She's a big reason why Presbyterian's still right there in the thick of it, no doubt.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about USC Upstate's Dara Russo.
5 goals and 4 assists in just 9 games. Talk about making every minute count. It's remarkable how many players in this conference are putting up those kinds of numbers this season.
I know. It really speaks to the overall competitiveness, right? Like every team has these weapons, these players who can turn the tide in an instant.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, with all this talent spread so evenly, who's going to rise to the occasion when it matters most? Will Charleston Southern be able to maintain this incredible momentum they've built? Can Radford tap into that championship DNA and pull off a three-peat?
Those are the questions, right? I mean, Radford's an interesting one, don't you think? We know what they're capable of. They've been there, done that, twice in a row, in fact. But this season, they've just seemed a little, I don't know, out of sync at times.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to find their footing. You know, they have these moments of brilliance where you see those flashes of that championship form, but then it's like they kind of fade back into the pack a little.
It makes you wonder, are they letting the pressure get to them? Or are they, and I've heard this theory tossed around, are they strategically holding back, keeping their cards close to their chest until the tournament?
That's an interesting theory. I mean, it wouldn't be unheard of, right? Keep your opponents guessing. Don't reveal your full hand until it absolutely matters. Who knows? Maybe they've got some secret weapon, some new strategy they're just waiting to unleash when the stakes are at their highest.
Right. And can you imagine if they pull it off, a three-peat, achieved with this calculated, under-the-radar approach? It would be legendary.
Talk about a dynasty. But let's not forget, Charleston Southern is a force to be reckoned with, and they're not backing down from anyone.
Absolutely not. And with High Point and Gardner-Webb right there with them, lurking in the shadows, ready to pounce on any opportunity this season, is far from over.
Oh, not even close. And that's what makes this whole thing so thrilling, right? It's anyone's game. You've got these established powerhouses trying to hold on to their crown, and then you've got these rising stars hungry to make their mark. It's the perfect recipe for a dramatic finish.
Couldn't have said it better myself. This season is a testament to the depth and competitiveness of the Big South Conference. But with so much parity, with the talent pool spread so evenly, it begs the question, could this actually hurt the Big South when it comes to the NCAA tournament?
Now, there's a thought. It seems counterintuitive, right? You'd think a conference stacked with tough, evenly matched teams would be a shoo-in for the tournament.
Exactly. More strong teams, more wins, more recognition, right. But you're saying it might not be that simple.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like, when you think about it, if you don't have that one team that's really standing out, you know, the one that's just dominating everyone else.
Right, the clear frontrunner, the one everyone's talking about.
Exactly. The NCAA selection committee, they might start to wonder, you know, is this conference actually that strong? Or are they all just kind of, I don't know, average?
So you're saying, even though all the Big South teams are strong,
Yeah.
because none of them are blowing everyone else out of the water, it actually makes the conference look weaker as a whole.
It's weird, right? But yeah, that's kind of the paradox here. The committee, they might look at a conference with one super dominant team and think, okay, that team's clearly a cut above, even if the rest of the conference wasn't as tough.
Wow, that's a really interesting point. So it's like, is it better to have one powerhouse and a bunch of weaker teams, or a conference where everyone's pretty evenly matched?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And honestly, there's no right or wrong answer. It's a debate that could go on forever, probably will.
It's true. It's something to think about for sure. And it just makes these last few games even more exciting.
Oh, absolutely. Every goal, every save, every single result, it all matters now. The Big South, they've given us a season for the books this year.
They really have. It's been full of surprises, upsets, and I have a feeling it's all going to come down to the very last whistle.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. And you know what? That's what makes this so fun to watch. You just never know what's going to happen next.
I'm on the edge of my seat, that's for sure. And I can't wait to see how this all unfolds. This has been fantastic. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Until next time.